Hi, I want to share with you the real reason so many people struggle to get ahead in life. My name's Doug Dane, and I think too many people struggle because they've got a mistaken identity. If you don't feel confident to succeed, your mistaken identity might be causing you problems. In my book, I explain your mistaken identity, how you got it, what it is, how you got it, and why it's making you make the mistakes that you do. So here's a daily tip so you can live better and make no mistake. You definitely deserve better. I know you want to do better. We all do. And genuinely, we believe that we can. So what's the problem? The real problem is that we look at our current situation and our past, and we think that's a reflection of who we are. Your situation, your past is not a reflection of who you are. It's a reflection of your conditioning. It's a reflection of your upbringing. It's a reflection of how you were treated as a kid. It's a reflection of your mistaken identity. We really got to get that straight. You know that you're worthy of more, but it's frustrating and confusing when you just can't seem to get ahead and do better. And you end up feeling like a failure, or you feel like an imposter. And I hear the words, the imposter syndrome from a lot of people. I'd like to tell you the truth. Now, listen, I can sugarcoat it, make this sound all flowery, or I'd rather just give it to you straight. So hopefully that's what you want to hear, because that's what you're going to get if you keep watching this video. So listen in and let me share a few things with you. Listen, no matter what book you read or what course you take or what coach you hire to boost your self-confidence and improve your life, you won't unless you take care of the single thing that's responsible for your life. The bottom line is if you can't perform better than your concept or your opinion of yourself. You cannot outperform your self-image. You've got a mistaken identity, a poor opinion of yourself, maybe a low opinion of yourself. Maybe you've got an inferiority complex. Maybe you're just not confident enough, or you doubt yourself. Maybe you have a failure type personality. Maybe you've got this imposter syndrome going on. And so unless you deal with that, nothing much is going to change in your life. Like I said, I'm just going to give it to you straight here. And don't let anybody convince you that things can get better unless they're talking about what I'm talking about here. So it doesn't matter if it's a coaching program, if it's a self-help book, if it's somebody mentoring you, if it's a course. It doesn't matter what it is. You can't be somebody that you're not. But you can uncover and discover who you really are, and that truth will set you free. Now listen, there's usually three kinds of people. One, there's people who are succeeding. You probably know them or have known them in the past. There's people who are succeeding and they just make it look easy. And that's a very small percentage of the population, probably 2 or 3%. And they're probably earning most of the money. The second group of people are people who are stuck at a certain level and just can't seem to get unstuck or get further ahead. Sometimes they feel like they take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. Year after year, their situation doesn't change much. Their income doesn't change much. The problems they have don't change much. Life just kind of continues on. And frankly, most people get comfortable with it. That's the comfort zone. They don't really like it there, but they're comfortable with it, a lot more comfortable than what they perceive to be the discomfort and the fear and challenges of making it better. And the third group of people are people who are really struggling in life. They're struggling financially, they're struggling in their career, they're struggling with their physical or their mental well-being. I mean, maybe they're struggling like I was because they went through a brutal childhood. 60% of adults have suffered some form of adverse childhood experiences of abuse, mistreatment, neglect, etc. So there's a lot of people that are really struggling in life, and that's a high percentage of the population. Here's what I've learned over the last 30 years. For 25 years, I spent time in the financial services business, and I was very successful in my own right, and I shot to the top of my industry and my company shortly after learning some things that were really getting in my way and holding me back. In fact, I'd just gone bankrupt, and I needed to figure out why that was and why I wasn't succeeding. And I did, and I started to succeed greatly. And I coach a lot of people, coaching leaders and entrepreneurs and small business owners running, organizations. And then the last 10 years working in the personal development industry, I worked alongside the probably number one leader in the personal development space, and that was Bob Proctor. He was considered a leader in personal growth and human potential. And I got to work with him side by side very closely. We were friends. And over those last 10 years, I learned a lot about what it actually takes for people to get ahead and do better in their life like you want to and like you deserve to. And I've talked to literally thousands of people, thousands in the past 10 years. And pretty much everyone I meet is struggling with their mistaken identity, or they feel like an imposter. So again, I don't know where you fall in those three groups of people. If you're succeeding in making it look easy, that's great, congratulations. I know you know that you could be doing better, and so there is probably still some limitations on your concept or your self-image or your talent and potential that is holding you back from doing better. But most of us fall into number two and number three. People are stuck and just can't seem to get ahead, and then the masses, they're really struggling. And if you don't rid yourself of this mistaken identity, nothing is going to change, okay? Here's what you got to get straight. Now, I didn't know this. I discovered about 10 years ago, I was first introduced to the idea of a couple of concepts. One is that mind or mindset is something that I could control. I could direct my mind to whatever ends that I wanted. I could pursue goals and dreams and achieve different things. I had no idea that my mind was a machine. I didn't know that. I discovered that my mind is a machine. Like all machines, it works a certain way. You got to follow the rules and operate it properly, just like the machine you hold in your hands every day, your smartphone. It operates a certain way, and you got to use it properly for it to do what you want it to do. I didn't know that. And I also did not know that this machine directed my brain and my nervous system. So the way I was thinking and acting and feeling and how my nervous system was presenting itself in my physical state, I did not know that my mind directed my brain and nervous system. And the other thing I did not know, this idea of this mistaken identity or this concept of yourself or your self-image, I did not know that that is what's running the machine. Okay, your self-image is directed, or your self-image directs your mind. So if your mind's directing your brain and nervous system, which is ultimately causes your behavior, your actions, your results, and it's run by the self-image, then it stands to reason we got to get this sorted out if we want to get ahead. And so everybody's going at this the wrong way. It's a lot easier, just to hire a coach, take a personal development program, buy a few books. It seems like it's a lot easier to solve your problem and get ahead, but it doesn't work. It might work a little bit. You might see some incremental changes, slow incremental changes over time. Very rare will you see exponential growth. If you do see exponential growth or explosive result from somebody, it just means that somebody made a shift to their self-image, and there was nothing in their self-image that got in the way of what they were trying to accomplish or what they were trying to do. So if you're not able to get ahead, if you're not able to do what it is you want to be doing, it's because you have this mistaken identity, or you're not running your mindset, the machine, properly. It could be a combination of a few things. And don't let anybody tell you that you can be anything you want. You can't. You can't be somebody you're not. You can only do things within reason of who you really are and what you're truly capable of. Now, your mistaken identity, your poor self-image definitely has a distorted view on your capability. And so what we got to do is we got to discover and uncover this mistaken identity so we get to the truth, and the truth will make you free and it'll set you off, and you'll enjoy life a lot more. Just real quick, I was talking to a client of mine, and he's going through my book, Mistaken Identity. And so I tell people, don't just read the book. In fact, don't even buy the book if you're not going to read it. But don't just read it. I tell people, let the book work on you. And so this book literally is a reading course. It's a 30-day program to uncover and discover your mistaken identity so you can get rid of it and all the biases and all the beliefs and all the junk that's getting in your way. And once you get rid of it, magical things start to happen. So I was talking to him earlier, and he also sent me a message. He said, it's just so amazing when you get rid of this junk that that's been holding you back for so long. And this guy is 50 years old. He's been in real estate for a long time. He's been in sales. He does pretty well, but he's really letting go of a bunch of stuff that he picked up when he was young, in terms of how his parents treated him, the abuse he went through, etc., that distorted his opinion of himself, his concept of himself, and he's now freeing himself. And we're talking, I'm thinking about just how much it costs people in coaching and personal development programs and books, time and money, therapy, counseling, Reiki, chiropractic, hypnotherapy, all these things that we spend time and money on, trying to just make ourselves feel better and do better. If you don't get rid of this mistaken identity, if you don't get the concept of you straight, nothing is going to change. So listen, if you want to get rid of this once and for all, reply to this email or put a comment in this video here, and let's have a conversation. If you're not ready for that kind of move, then grab my book and get it through my website at dougdane.com, and I'll actually give you my reading lessons, my book course that takes you through how to make these changes that I outline in this book, this reading course that my client I just talked about, what he's doing. And I'll give you those book lessons. And every day you read a chapter, you watch the video of the book lesson where I give you more instruction. And then there's an exercise that you do in the book, a very simple exercise. The whole process takes about 20 minutes a day, 15, 20 minutes, 5 minutes to read a chapter, 5 minutes to watch the video, 5 or 10 minutes to jot down the key points. And if you let this book work on you, things will really, really change. So I'd like to talk to you because I'm looking for people that want to go fast and really see explosive, exponential change in their life. But you got to change this mistaken identity. You got to adjust your self-image to who you are and what it is you want. If you don't do that, not much is going to change. That way you can go from stuck or struggling to living the way that you want and enjoying life more. Thank you.